I'm Vinnie Politan. The subject of my investigation, OnlyFans model and millionaire Courtney Clenney, who took off her clothes for money, but now is in jail for allegedly taking a life. Here's the story. The scene was bloody. The results were deadly. And now Courtney Clenney, the Instagram model and OnlyFans content creator known to millions, is behind bars, charged with second-degree murder. In April of 2022, she stabbed her boyfriend, cryptocurrency trader Christian Obumseli. Courtney called 911 and claimed she acted in self-defense, saying she hurled a knife from across the room. But the medical examiner's report describes a downward wound, suggesting a deliberate thrust, not a tossed blade. Courtney and Christian were living in a $12,000 a month apartment in the trendiest part of Miami. Their fast lifestyle was funded by Courtney, who took off her clothes and performed sex acts online for her paying fans, sometimes appearing with Christian. But their relationship was filled with domestic violence and ended when Courtney ended Christian's life. Tragic story on many different levels. Young people who are making money, living a good life, should still be living a good life, but one is not even alive. The other's locked up waiting for her murder trial. So let's get to the day, right? The day that Courtney Clenney somehow, either by throwing or stabbing, gets a knife into Christian Obumseli and kills him. The call is made to 911. Police respond. What we're going to do this hour is take a look at the body cam videos of the responding officers at the scene. And we're going to start in the beginning when officers first arrive. The first officers to go up the elevator and to actually encounter Courtney Clenney and this extremely bloody, fatal scene. Let's take a look.
We might have a dead body upstairs.
Okay. Okay. We'll follow you. We'll follow you.
Hey, close the ballet down. Put a red rope over here.
Miami, we're all right. Just made contact with front desk here. They're escorting us to the apartment.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It looks like it's crime scene in there.
Anybody up there? You were up there?
Yeah, security's there with two residents. It's the female girl. Police has came 5 times. She went to commit suicide 5 different times. They were punching each other 5 different times. And until this day, this bad. He's unconscious, full of blood. I have the pictures here.
Request for arrest.
She's crying for help. He's unconscious completely.
Was that heated?
Where was he?
Fire risk.
Hey, request for arrest.
The dog is full of blood.
You're full of blood?
Room number 2201?
Yeah, right here.
2201?
Yeah, the elevator's full of blood.
El restaurant. All right, this elevator, we might have to shut it down.
Yeah.
So it's...
We're 522, we're going up. You have someone up there?
We're there 10 seconds, 10 seconds. We're on the 15th floor.
Who's screaming?
Security.
Why are they screaming? Are they fighting?
No, he's unconscious and I don't know if it's a stabbing or something. Oh, we're close.
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
Yes, sir, man. We're going up the elevator.
Vengo está en servicio. We're here. Right here. Police are here. Hey, come on. Come in. Get up.
Leave. Get up. Get up right now. You get up right now.
Why would you keep him upright? I just want to keep him
Get up
upright.
right now. Mommy,
We're helping you.
listen. Get up right now.
Baby, wake up. What's
What's your Courtney? Courtney.
Just keep him sitting upright. Leave
Courtney, listen to me. Get up. Get up. Come on. You gotta get the dogs in.
Okay.
Get up.
Please go. Please.
Listen.
Get him up.
Get up right now. Drop it on the floor. I'll help him out. Get up.
Oh, no.
Get up.
No, I can't.
Get up.
I can't let this. Okay.
Chaotic. There's a lot happening. I mean, this is right out of the box for these responding officers. And there's Courtney Clenney inside. The dog is barking. It's some scene. Brings us to the first question in our investigation tonight, which is, what does the initial police arrival here reveal? What is revealed as police first arrive on the scene and make first contact with Courtney Clenney? Here to help answer this question, retired New York police detective and John Jay College of Criminal Justice professor Michael Alcazar is with us. Also joining us, Dr. Janie Lacey, psychotherapist, CEO of Life Counseling Solutions. Thank you both for joining us. I want to get both of your perspectives because I think they're really important here. I'll begin with you, Michael. Give me your initial concerns as police are arriving. I see they're putting on the gloves. They're talking to the worker from there. What are the initial concerns as you're arriving at a scene like this?
Well, we want to make sure that the aided is taken care of, and that if there was a perpetrator on the scene, that they're placed in custody. The worker walking up the elevator gave them a pretty good information leading up to it that probably prepared them. And as they're walking into the residence, they see, the perpetrator on the floor all bloody and the victim on the floor. So now they have to make sure they, preserve that crime scene and place that person in custody because we don't exactly know what happened.
Now, I couldn't tell, but should their guns be drawn? Would that be normal? You're responding to a scene of a stabbing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really up to the police officer. This is Miami. I'm sure they have a lot of experience. Probably they didn't feel the need for it. Maybe the worker, take him up on the elevator, maybe put him at ease a little bit. But again, it's up to the discretion of the police officer. If they feel the scene is that they have to draw their weapon, that they should. And I guess in this situation, they felt it didn't. It's a posh hotel, apartment building, that shouldn't come into play. But, all these things come to the mind of a police officer responding to a crime scene.
Dr. Janie Lacey, let's talk about Courtney Clenney in that moment. As they first see her, she is right there with Christian, the man who she stabbed somehow, either by throwing or stab, whatever happened, that's what the trial will determine. But she seems to be cradling him, telling him to wake up, and is not necessarily cooperating initially with officers as they respond. What are your thoughts about her state of mind in this first moment?
Well, what I think, Vinny, about her state of mind is when I'm watching this footage, I mean, it's obvious that she's someone that's experiencing acute stress. But I think it's important that we distinguish between what we would consider a genuine trauma response, potentially, and also potential manipulation, right? Because when we look at the situation and her not initially listening to the officer's commands, we can look at that as her attempt to control a narrative. But I think what I would see in that situation and the scene that we saw so far is that someone who is acutely aware of the severity of the situation when we're watching her cradling him and not necessarily responding to the police officer. So it's just to me, it's just a matter of if it's a genuine trauma response or is there's potential manipulation where she can control a narrative by explaining in that moment what's happening.
Michael, what are your thoughts about that moment where she's not listening to directions from the responding officers and how they react to that, and what are the issues that the officer is dealing with at that moment?
Yeah, well, they have to determine what exactly happened, what happened to the victim. Is there still a weapon in the room? Does she have the weapon on her? Did she do it? And like the doctor said, yeah, this could be all feigned emotion to pretend like, she wasn't the perpetrator. So it's a lot of things going on that the two responding officers have to think about. They got to think tactically. They have to think safely. I mean, this could be a potential other victim, right? There could have been another suspect there. So there's a lot of things going on that they have to establish.
And what about the balance between, you've got obviously a suspect and you've got a victim? And the victim obviously needs attention, but the suspect needs to be taken into custody. How do you manage that and balance that situation with those two circumstances at the same time?
Well, I think the police. Yeah, I think the officers did a pretty good job. They placed her in custody, and then EMS and FD was already on their way. So their priority now is to get the aided to the hospital and get treated for their injuries.
All right, our guests are staying with us, our experts. Coming up next, what does Courtney Clenney's conduct reveal?
Listen, sit down. Do me a favor, sit down. Do not
Why
move.
are you yelling at me?
Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move, sit down.
Okay,
We don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened.
Matriarch of the Adelson family gets arrested.
Donna Adelson is facing charges of murder, the death of her former son-in-law, Dan Markel.
Prosecutors say a bitter child custody battle was the motive for the murder-for-hire plot.
Now that Donna has turned into a defendant, what's next for the Adelson clan?
Now that the ship is really sinking fast, blood doesn't matter that much.
The Matriarch Mastermind murder trial. Live coverage begins this August on Court TV.
Do you support the police? I've actually, yes, I do. I do. I think a lot of times they don't do their job. For sure. In my experience, I've not been helped by them. But I think for sure, they typically do their job. And it shouldn't, I don't know.
That's Courtney Clenney on her Instagram account answering some questions from some of her fans. And I wanted to show that to you so you have a baseline of what she is like in more normal times. I mean, a lot of the videos we're going to show tonight, obviously, are right after the stabbing and alleged murder. And we've shown other videos of the fights that she's had with Christian Obumseli, but there you see her in a more normal moment, just so you have a little bit of a baseline of what she looks like and sounds like. Now, let's take you back to the scene. So where we left off, the officers made their initial response. They're in there, and now they are taking her and trying to get her into custody. Let's take a look at this and take a look at the way Courtney Clenney reacts to the situation.
Get up.
Please, don't. Please.
Listen. Get him up. Get up right. Drop it on the floor. I'll help him out. Get up.
Oh, no.
Get up.
No, I can't let this, okay.
Let go.
Wait, it wasn't me. Guys,
Relax.
Why?
Stop.
No, guys.
Relax.
Boss, what's going on?
Wait,
Hey, you good?
This guy
What do you have?
investigate.
Relax.
Where are you getting from? Yo.
Guys, please.
Relax. Sit down.
Here. Okay.
Sit down.
Here, just let me.
Sit down.
Okay. Baby, come here. Just sit down. Please, just make sure he's okay.
They're gonna be okay.
Okay. Jesse, come here, baby.
Stay right there.
Come on, boys. Come on, sit down.
Francis.
Dime.
Advise fire rescue. He's not breathing.
Good boy.
Can I just rinse off?
No.
I'm covered in blood. I'm covered in my boyfriend's
Miami, we're going to need fire rescue. Immediately, we have an unresponded male. The apartment's full of blood. How old is he?
He's 27. He's about to turn 28 in like 2 weeks. 27 years old. We have his birthday planned for Barcelona. Come on, stay here. Come back. Ranger, come on, babe. Hey, it's like his dad. I'm not going in. I'm not going in.
Doesn't matter. You stay right here.
Okay. Ranger, come on, babe.
Ranger.
I was saying it's like his dad. They're obsessed with each other. He's worried about him.
Ranger.
Hey, is he okay?
Hey, man. What's his name?
Jesse,
over here. Ranger. Come on.
Hey, is he okay?
Come on. Come on, Ranger. Where's
What is going on?
The other one is right here.
Okay.
I was
Ranger.
really scared. I just think I didn't. I'm covered in blood from holding.
What do you mean?
Ask her what happened. I only see a wound to the shoulder. That's all I see. What happened to him?
Ranger.
Courtney.
Oye.
Yes.
No preguntes nada.
I called my mom because I was getting scared.
Okay.
Guys, I really don't care if anybody takes in for anything. I just want to make sure that he's gonna be okay. Please, tell me what's going on. I'm looking you, I'm looking you in the eyes, girl. Please tell me if he's okay. Can I please stand up and see?
No, ma'am.
If it was quiet.
No, ma'am.
Ranger, please.
Ranger.
Come on, Ranger.
Ranger.
Ranger, come on, please tell me. Come here, buddy.
Jesse.
I'm so scared. Jesse, Ranger, baby, just sit next to me.
Stay.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jesse.
Stay.
Hey, Danny, can you stay up here, please?
I'm gonna get paramedics.
Ranger.
Danny, I need you.
Jesse.
Keep this open.
Jesse. Ranger.
They won't tell me if my
Ranger.
Guys, please tell me what's going on.
Ranger.
Come on, like there's
Ranger.
I was scared. Please tell me if he's okay.
Jesse.
Hey, if I get up and look, am I getting in trouble?
No.
Okay, then you said I'm not gonna get in trouble.
No, you can't get up. You stay right there.
Are you married?
You stay right
Are you
there.
married?
You stay right there.
I'm covered in his blood because I'm trying to
Okay,
save
I understand
him. I'm trying to save him.
that. I understand that.
And if I don't, and y'all can't, then
Okay.
what will I do with
All
my
right.
I need him. He's like my other half.
Dime. Huh?
Jesse, come here, baby. Jesse, come here. Jesse, come on, baby. Andrea, come here. Come here, baby. Jesse, come here. Hey, baby, it's gonna be okay. Ranger, hey, come back. I might have to go to the cops for a couple of days, but I'll be back home, okay? It'll be okay. It'll be okay, baby.
You're bleeding a lot from here, man.
I promise I'll be. It'll be okay, baby.
What's his name?
Daddy will be back. What is his name?
What is his name?
Christian Obumseli.
What's his name?
Christian Obumseli. Christian. Obumseli. Please.
Listen, sit down. Do me a favor, sit down. Do not
Why are you
move.
yelling at me?
Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move, sit down.
Okay,
We don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened.
I'm terrified
So
for him.
right now, yeah, don't worry. They're helping him. So just sit down. Don't move, okay?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, he's right there. Just
Jesse,
sit
come
down.
here, baby.
Sit
Jesse,
down.
come here.
Relax.
More chaos. This is the reality of what the situation was when police responded and how she's acting. It brings us to the next question in our investigation. What does Courtney Clenney's conduct here reveal? The way she's acting, what she's saying, what she's doing. What does it reveal for police and psychologically? Let's bring back in our guests who are still with us. Michael Alcazar and Dr. Janie Lacey. Dr. Janie Lacey, I'll begin with you. Watching and listening to what she is saying and how she's acting, what is it revealing to you?
Well, Vinnie, it reveals a lot, and we can break a lot of this down. But, you know, when I'm listening and I'm reviewing what's happening, there's a couple things, right? So there could be some disassociation and shock and her inability to process the reality of the situation, right? Which potentially could be a genuine trauma response. But then as I'm also listening to some of her dialogue, you know, it also can suggest a certain level of awareness of causation. And then if we look at potential manipulation with her garnering sympathy and also potentially deflecting responsibility in some of her dialogue. And as she's talking, as we're watching her distressed and she's covered in his blood and his blood while she's in handcuffs, and I believe she was explaining that she was covered in his blood because she was trying to save him, right? So, you know, potentially claiming the responsibility, but also attempting to save him also shows a contradiction. So potentially, as I'm observing this clip, there's a duality that could appear, and especially her calm sense at some point as she's talking to her dog, but then also this heightened emotional state. But we also know that cases like this involve a lot of impulsive violence followed by immediate regret. So that would be some of my thoughts, Vinnie.
All right, Michael, as an officer investigator, what does her conduct reveal to you?
She seemed a little bit nervous, a little bit defensive, I thought. I thought it was funny that she was asking the officer if he was married, and the officer cut her off. You know, in situations like this, we kind of like spontaneous utterances, and she was saying a lot. And I felt like the police officer was kind of like cutting her off a lot. I would have let her talk a little more. You're trying to establish what happened, and she might have said more if he didn't cut her off. So, you know, they were doing rescue efforts, life-saving rescue efforts. They established that he had a stab wound, and they called for EMS to respond. But yeah, I thought it was funny. She was asking if he was married. I said, I think she was going to somehow justify that, you know, how it is when you're a married person and things happen. That was my opinion.
Dr. Janie Lacey, some of the things that she said, you know, I'm looking I want you to look in my eyes and tell me he's going to be okay. What is she trying to do there? What is that?
What I would look at when she's having this dialogue with the officer is almost controlling a narrative. So as she's potentially trying to garner some sympathy and deflect responsibility. So getting him to connect with her in this moment by looking, because we know looking at someone's eyes, you're also connecting with them so that she can be potentially believable if she really understands the severity of the situation and deflecting the potential responsibility. So her trying to connect with him to probably garner some type of sympathy and connection. But then also, as we saw the different escalations, she's yelling and screaming in the chaos, but then also trying to have a conversation and calming her dog down. So there's a certain level of self-awareness to me that would indicate, even in this moments of chaos, that she was aware of. Because this case, as we're looking at this video, is also to me a witness. We're witnessing a classic, I would say, a classic textbook case of domestic violence escalation, Vinny, right? So all the previous videos of the property damage to this fatal violence, it's a predictable pattern that we recognize in each incident that goes without consequence. It just embodies a further escalation, which is what we're watching in this video right now.
Absolutely. Michael, and how about the balancing here of everything going on? You've got these dogs running around and barking. You've got blood everywhere. Where is the emphasis when you talk about fact gathering versus saving the victim versus preserving the crime scene?
I think the priority for the officers was to save the victim, right? They're rendering aid in the other room, what it looked like in the video. Now, once they remove the body, the aided, then you can start preserving the crime scene. I mean, it's a mess, right? You got two dogs tracking footprints all over the place. You got a worker from the building who had blood on his pants. So the crime scene is already compromised. So they're gonna have to process that more meticulously once the aided was removed.
Big thank you tonight, Dr. Jenny Lacey and Michael Alcazar. Appreciate your insight and your expertise tonight. Up next, what does this interview tell us about Courtney Clenney? I'm Vinnie Politan. We continue our investigation of the OnlyFans murder trial. Courtney Clenney was in a toxic relationship with Christian Obumseli, but instead of breaking up and walking away, Courtney took his life. Here's the story. Courtney Clenney, known online as Courtney Taylor, made a fortune flaunting her fitness and modeling lifestyle to millions of fans on OnlyFans, earning over $3 million in just 2 years. Behind the glamorous selfies and seductive content, however, was a volatile and allegedly violent relationship with Christian Obumseli, a charismatic tech entrepreneur. The couple's luxury Miami high-rise apartment masked chaos within. Neighbors reported frequent screaming, and police were called multiple times. Clenney claimed self-defense when she fatally stabbed Christian in April of 2022, insisting he had attacked her. But prosecutors say she was the aggressor, presenting video of her striking him in an elevator and revealing text messages that hinted at a toxic pattern of jealousy, control, and violence. As her trial looms, Clenney's wealth, influence, and image collide with the dark accusations against her, raising the question, was she a battered woman fighting back, or a millionaire influencer hiding a lethal temper? So we've been taking a closer look at the initial response of police officers to the scene and what is happening and the chaos that is inside this very expensive apartment in Miami. Now, we've taken a look at the officers getting off the elevator, the officers taking her into custody, trying to save Christian Obumseli's life. We've seen the firefighters and EMTs come in to get Christian Obumseli. Well, then what happens is that Courtney Clenney is then brought into like a breezeway, and she's on the ground. She's handcuffed. And at this point, investigators are trying to figure out what happened. So we're going to take a listen to parts of that interview. You're not going to see Courtney Clenney because she's on the ground in handcuffs, but you will hear her voice, and you'll hear from the officers who are trying to get some idea of what transpired and how all this blood ended up on the floor and Christian Obumseli taken to the hospital.
So what happened today that we're here?
So I had broken up with him about a week ago. And then today again, like, we weren't getting along kind of, but like, I said, we're breaking up again.
So you guys trying to get back together?
Yes, absolutely. Because I want to marry him. I love him. I think that he could change. I could change whatever. And he just, I said, he started doing some. He said he wouldn't do it to me again. I said, you know what? We're over. And I walked away, and he pinned me to the wall.
He pinned you against the wall?
He pinned me to the wall and then pinned me to the ground. It was choking me. And so I got up and I called my mom, and I was talking to her. And then he started charging at me, and I just had it in my hand because I was like trying to tell him, like, don't come
What
here.
do you have in your knife? Why do you have in your hand? A knife?
Because I was scared.
I'm asking you, what do you have in your hand? A knife, okay.
And I called my mom. She was on the phone. She can say like what it was. I was scared, and there was just and he started charging me, so I just threw it. I just threw it till I was scared of him, but I just threw it to scare him, and it just like I don't know. I feel like it's
So you said he was choking you, and then
choking me. Got up. I called my mom because I was scared about that. And then we started fighting again, and he came at me, and I just like.
So you guys started arguing. What did you argue about?
I don't want to lie to you, so right now I cannot even like tell you.
Okay. So you guys started arguing. Then what happened?
Threw me against the wall, choked me. I mean, you're looking like this. He's never like choked me to where like it's like crazy stuff. But like I mean, I couldn't breathe.
Okay.
Then he put me on the.
So he throws you against the wall.
Then he put me on the ground, choked me. That's happened 2 other times.
Did he tell you anything? Did he say
just
anything?
like that kind of face, like where I was really scared and I was trying to get him off of me and he wouldn't get off. Then he gets off, then I call my mom.
Okay.
And then I was like, I went into the other room and I was talking to her and I was like crying and saying like something is happening, like I don't know what's going on with Christian. And I was just like crying, whatever. And then like I went to the kitchen and he started like charging at me and I said like I'm gonna like this at you, and he goes, do it. And then he charged me and threw, but he was far away and I never in a million years like he I'm
he threw
scared.
a statue at you?
No. It was the knife. I said, like, I was just holding it to be like, please don't come anywhere near me, basically.
Okay.
Because God forbid I ever did anything like that to somebody that I love. So don't come near me.
Okay. And
I was on the phone with my mom the whole time.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he just charged at me. And I threw it, but he was far away. But I was scared because he was coming at me. He just choked me.
So you threw the knife at him? Yeah.
But I was so scared. He choked me twice.
Such an important moment in this case, right? These are her first statements to law enforcement, and it brings us to the next question in our investigation. What does this interview tell us about Courtney Clenney? Here to help answer that question, retired FBI agent Stuart Fillmore and author and nationally certified mental health counselor Sharonda Brown. Great to have you both here. Sharonda, I'll begin with you. As you listen to Courtney Clenney tell her story, what does it tell you? What does it tell us about Courtney Clenney?
Well, it tells us that she's all over the place, pretty impulsive, definitely emotional. There were a lot of conflicting parts in her story, and although we're not here to investigate what she's saying, it just doesn't align. So he's far away, but he's close. So you can tell that she's definitely feeling guilty, ashamed, and she's really trying to piece together some sympathy from those who are listening to the story, which is where the tears come in. So that can be extremely manipulative, because in one minute you're afraid, the next minute you have the knife because you're you're just holding it. So it's very confusing. I was on the phone with my mom. So when people start adding those details, those unnecessary details, that usually lets me know that there's something more to the story than what's being said. And what I'm hearing is that there are a lot of things being left out, which is why it's all over the place. And what I've learned in this business is that if it doesn't make sense, it's likely a lie.
Stuart Fillmore, what does this interview tell you as law enforcement about Courtney Clenney?
Well, I agree, Vinnie, with Sharonda that it is chaotic, and I mean, she does seem to be a little bit all over the place. I can tell you something just from my childhood that kind of causes me to doubt that she's telling the truth. When I was a kid, I thought if you see on the movies, you see somebody throw a knife and make it stick, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And you believe it or not, you could actually order something called a commando knife. And I was probably 10 or 12 years old, probably in no need of a commando knife. But supposedly, it was specifically designed to be thrown. And so I had this knife. We had a big tree in the backyard. And I bet you I got that thing to stick dead on 1 out of 50 times. Most of the time, it just bounced off the tree. Or if it did land, it actually landed at an angle. I'd love to see the actual photographs of the stab wound from the autopsy to see exactly how that knife landed in. And then the other thing that jumps to my mind is if she threw the knife and it did, let's say, that 1 out of 50 time or 1 out of 100 time that it does actually land, at what angle did it enter? And if she threw it and she says she's 10 feet away, then why wasn't the knife still in him? Did she take the knife out? To me, the fact that the knife is not in him is more indicative that she stabbed him and then pulled it out.
Sharonda, something else. She's making herself out to be the victim here, right? That Christian came at her and she somehow got away, called the mother. How do you get to the bottom when you're counseling someone and speaking to them and trying to understand, hey, is this someone who's actually been the victim of domestic abuse versus is this someone who is an abuser?
Typically, people who are abused are very meek, mild, docile. They don't want any conflict because they're afraid of being abused. They're afraid of the consequences. So when I see someone who has the temperament of aggression, who can be very loud, who can be very blaming, curses a lot, swears a lot, does a lot of aggressive behavior, that typically lets me know that they're not as victimhood as they pretend to be or as they claim to be. And in a lot of the footage, you can see that he's holding her hands. He's trying to get away. He's not the aggressor as much as she's saying, oh, I fear for my life. He was choking me. He was holding me down. It doesn't appear to be the case. So when I'm hearing someone say that they're abused or that they're being abused, I definitely look at how many times did they initiate versus how many times were they actually defending themselves. And most of the time, people who are truly abused and who are truly in cases of domestic violence, they don't want any conflict. They don't want any smoke. They are really trying to stay away from the drama as much as possible.
All right, our guests are going to stay with us. We've got more video to get to. Coming up, what does video of the apartment/crime scene reveal?
Weeknights on Court TV.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Welcome to Closing Arguments. We have a big hour ahead here.
Your deplorable actions are unforgivable.
The community still doesn't know how this Boston police officer died.
He can't prove one element of his case.
It was a dramatic day, a dramatic moment inside the courtroom.
What's happening here?
It's unreal. Let me show you exactly what happened.
Closing Arguments with Vinnie Politan. Weeknights at 8, 7 Central. Only on Court TV.
I was sober for 2 weeks. 2 weeks. And now why am I not sober? Because of you. But you're hindering my progress.
We need to sit down.
Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me.
Okay.
Come on, boy. Let go of me. I can't even let like, I was talking to him, they're like, you saw me. You were gonna hit me? Christian, he saw me, and I know he's looking. I'm fed up with you. I'm fed up. I'm fed up with that you treat me. Oh, yes, I'm not mad at you.
You let Moana say some whine that affected you.
I didn't let her say anything.
I didn't say
you did it.
That's video of Courtney and Christian. That's just weeks before she took his life. Now, she's claiming self-defense, but she did take his life. That's just weeks before that video released by the law firm representing the family of Christian Obumseli. Now, I want to take you back to the scene. This is an interesting moment because they're looking for something, and you've probably noticed in the videos, we've had to blur things out because Courtney Clenney not wearing a lot of clothes. So the officer's trying to find something for her to wear, but in doing so, he's walking around the apartment, which gives us an opportunity to see the apartment / crime scene and get a better idea of the living conditions and the condition of the apartment where Christian Obumseli was stabbed to death. So let's take a look at that.
What did homicide say? And they're going to the hospital first? You go there right now, I'll give you the key tape. She's going there first and she's going to she said to hold me. Next time you hold me.
Dime. Sí, esta gente me dijeron que buscara algo aquí para ella. Cuidado aquí, mira.
No gasto mucho porque te vas a dejar más.
No, yo sé, imagínate.
So you get an idea of, you know, it's very posh, but like pretty chaotic inside, at least from my perspective. And that brings us to the next question in our investigation tonight. What does video of the apartment / crime scene reveal? What does it reveal about the crime itself? What does it reveal about the relationship and perhaps the state of mind or Courtney Clenney? Here to help us with our investigation, Stuart Fillmore and Sharonda Brown. Stuart, let's start first from the investigatory perspective, walking through that crime scene. We had dogs that were on the loose. There was a lot of blood initially. EMTs came in. The guy who works at the apartment complex, he was in there. People in and out. Looking now at the apartment, how difficult do you think it's going to be to process, to gather evidence that will be persuasive inside of a courtroom?
Yeah, Vinny, it's one of those things where the responding officers have to balance safety, a victim, their condition, and just as I think the word of the night is chaos. Yes, I agree with you. This apartment does look, like maybe a chaotic life. It's somewhat messy. The dogs definitely complicated the situation. I think, I don't want to second guess the responding officers, but, any law enforcement officer always wants to get better and critique where they could have done the job better. And I think one of the things, I didn't see a safety sweep when they went into that apartment. I mean, they didn't know that those necessarily were the only two in there. That could have been done, and then those dogs could have been put in that back bedroom because they were such a distraction to the officers. I think bordering on a safety issue as well as contaminating the crime scene. So, again, I don't want to second guess them, but because it was just an overall chaotic situation, I think they did the best that they could with the circumstances.
Sharonda Brown, as we take a look at that apartment and the living conditions, this is an apartment. It's like $12,000 a month. This is the most, one of the most exclusive buildings in one of the trendiest parts of Miami, where all the young people want to live, but most can't afford to live. What does the condition of the apartment tell you about Courtney Clenney and perhaps the relationship here?
When I look at the apartment, I see someone who is moving out. I see a lot of clothes. I see an empty closet. I see things disorganized because it looks like someone's trying to separate what they have from what someone else has. And so you may see a little bit of mess on the couch here and there, but I don't think that was the primary space of where someone may have been moving their things. I think the bedroom was probably the primary space because there are a lot of clothes everywhere, as if there's doing laundry. But it looks like someone was trying to move out or trying to get away from that space. So when I'm looking at that and then I'm pairing it with the volunteering of information of we were about to celebrate birthdays, we were about to do this, that lets me know that's probably not the truth. And there was probably a fantasy there happening and some delusionality happening. But it looks like somebody was moving or at least trying to gather it so that they could get out of there.
Stuart, it may very well be a huge issue in the case, and you had talked about this, whether or not the knife was thrown or she was next to him and stabbing him. What's your best analysis of the chaos that ensued, right? We saw all these videos. Do you think forensically you're going to be able to prove it one way or the other about where she was at the time of the stabbing? Or is it going to be more on the medical examiner looking at the wounds versus where the blood is, what kind of drops you have, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I think the forensics are going to tell the story. You know, again, that the wound itself can tell you a lot. I think the medical examiner already concluded that that is not a thrown wound. But I will say, I wonder how many actual thrown knife wounds any medical examiner sees in the course of a career, if any. I would think that's a very rare occurrence. I could be wrong. But yeah, the blood, the splatter, the wound itself, I think is going to be the key to this, because if she's lying about it, you know, if in fact there is some kind of battered spouse syndrome here, that goes out the window if she's lying about this.
Absolutely. Big thank you tonight. An incredible analysis. Stuart Fillmore and Sharonda Brown, great to see you. We're going to see you again really, really soon. Thank you so much for helping us out. Now, to me, it's obvious where things really derailed for Courtney Clenney. Too much money too fast. Living this crazy life in the middle of a toxic relationship. Now, it's a tragedy for her. I get it. But the real tragedy is the death of Christian Obumseli. I mean, this guy is just gone way too soon. A young man who is, by the way, the documented victim of domestic violence. Not the first time he was stabbed by her. The question is, what really happened in the final moments of his life? I'm Vinnie Politan. We'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.